So you could argue that Resident Evil 5 is actually the Resident Evil most in need of a remake. A whole new environmental structure and scenario design that reins in the action and dials up the horror would bring it in line with Capcom's other remakes. But all of this doesn't account for Resident Evil 5's most notorious problem: racism.
You are so dumb. It's oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. So the race. Bro. Oh wow.
Gothix.
For those of you who don't know this about me, I am a huge video game nerd. Yes, my friends, I actually have hobbies and interests that fall outside of political commentary. Would you believe it? Wow, yes, hobbies. You should probably get some. But yeah, I love video games. I especially love horror games and zombie games. And one of my favorite zombie games is Resident Evil 5. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this video that are like, video games, maybe it's not your thing, you have no interest. Stick around, because I have a feeling you're gonna find what I'm about to talk about very entertaining. Apparently, IGN seems to think that this particular video game cannot be remade. And if I had to guess, it probably has something to do with the fact that this video game was based in South Africa and the zombies were black. I'm just gonna take a wild guess here and assume that that's why this video game cannot be remade. So prove me wrong, IGN, I dare you.
Set in a fictional West African country, Resident Evil 5's primary antagonists are black people. Yes, it's technically the Ouroboros virus that protagonist Chris Redfield is fighting, but the parasite's host is depicted as a nation of mobs and primitives who are violent even before their infection. Intentionally or not, Resident Evil 5 positions Africa as the Dark Continent, an uncivilized world harboring a diseased population that needs gunning down via Western intervention in the name of global security.
Oh my god, can you, if there was a defining reaching for racism, you're just digging in for it, you're looking for the racism, the microscopic racism in every instance, this is it. This is, as the guy said, this game is based in West Africa. I thought it was South Africa, but West Africa. Okay, fine. You got black people that live in West Africa, and there are tribes that still exist to this day. And some of the tribes that exist to this day are not particularly friendly. That's a fair and honest assessment. This is reality. You can go anywhere and there's certain groups of people that are not friendly. So I'm not understanding the correlation of saying that the game is racist because it's depicting these tribes as being aggressive before they even get turned into zombies. This is funny. This is sad, but funny.
This insensitive treatment of people of color was hotly debated even as early as Resident Evil 5's debut trailer, with writers such as Nguy Kroll and Stephen Totillo pointing out the game's uncomfortable post-colonial imagery. The arguments and think pieces continued well into the game's release window, with IGN's own former editor-in-chief Hilary Goldstein having also wrestled with the subject. But that was 2009. A time when race was apparently a debate rather than a reality. In the 2020s, in a post-Black Lives Matter world, there is only one acceptable response to a white man shooting waves of Africans for an entire video game. No.
There's one thing I do.
This has to be satire. This is satire. There is no way.
Remakes may be able to redefine their source material, but there's only so many changes you can make until it's not a remake at all, but an entirely new game. And if you take Africa out of Resident Evil 5, is it Resident Evil 5 anymore? Even with a vastly improved, more sensitive take on the continent, perhaps one with a black protagonist and a more empathetic look at the outbreak, the experience would simply be too divorced from the original to hold the name Resident Evil 5. So
what? I bet I hate to assume, but I have a feeling the person who is doing the commentary for this video is white. I just have this feeling because I, as a black woman, a person of color, have played Resident Evil 5 many times, and I have never felt it to be racist in any way. And this reeks of someone who is trying to do performative activism on behalf of the poor black gamers out there who feel insulted that Resident Evil would base a game in Africa and make the zombies black. Again, the game is based in Africa. Would you prefer Irish zombies? Would that make it not racist? Like, think about what it is that you're saying here. And it's so interesting that this guy brought up Black Lives Matter earlier in his commentary, and then he suggests that maybe remaking this video game, we should be a little bit more empathetic towards why this outbreak happened. And it's very similar to the commentary that you heard during Black Lives Matter. Let's be reasonable, let's be understanding, let's be empathetic as to why people are looting and rioting. Oh, it's because they're trying to feed their families. Yeah, they have families to feed. They didn't get their reparations. Let's be a little bit more understanding about why they're burning down mom and pop shops. Let's be more understanding. It's about the message, after all. If you're a zombie, you're getting shot. Okay? I don't care what color you are. This is hilarious. And again, I would love to believe that this is satire, but it's not satire. This is the result of ignoring political discourse for so long. Eventually, it leaks into the entertainment industry. It leaks into culture. And now, instead of enjoying a video game or a movie or a comic book, no, we have to get smacked upside the head with the message. And the message really is propaganda. The other thing that I find comical about this person's commentary is the fact that he's essentially saying if we were to take the protagonist and make him black, that would make the game less problematic, less racist. So a white man killing black zombies is a problem, but a black man killing black zombies is not a problem. Very similar to the narrative behind Black Lives Matter. Oh, it's a problem if a white officer kills a black man. But if blacks kill each other, we're not really talking about that right now. It's more problematic when a white person kills a black. Like, think about what it is you're implying here. You're essentially normalizing Black death. This is a prime example of what happens when we keep pretending like politics and culture don't overlap. No, they do. I'm not by any means suggesting that we always have to talk about politics and social issues. No, gross. Get yourself some hobbies, okay? But what I am saying is at minimum, let's stop pretending like these things don't overlap, because they do. And eventually it's going to saturate into every facet of society, and the next thing you know, you can't even play a zombie game without some idiot on IGN calling it racist. I'm sitting over here in my little corner of the internet watching all of these commentators clutch their pearls every time their favorite movie, video game, or comic book is injected with social justice. Like, they're shocked every time, and I honestly don't know why. Like, this is nothing new. I always recommend this book right here called The Naked Communist. If you really want to understand why the world appears to be upside down right now, start with this book, all right? I'm going to read you something really quickly. The Naked Communist has 45 rules that communists try to achieve in order to take over a certain area of the world. And number 21, this is what it says: gain control of key positions in radio, TV, and motion pictures. Evidence of communist infiltration in the media is subjective. Some see Hollywood's changing values as a strategic change to keep the money coming. I think most people think that the reason there's a lot of wokeness in the media is because they just want money. Some of them do, but I think at a higher level of the people sitting up at the top part of the food chain are doing it to reshape the values that citizens hold. And so I would recommend checking out this book. It goes into more detail. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but if you want to understand why you can't seem to avoid the message, it's because of communist infiltration. Now, let me end with this, because I know there are going to be some people in the comment section who are going to say something to the effect of, video games, can't you talk about other important issues? There's a lot of things going on in the world right now. Maybe you shouldn't focus on something so insignificant as video games. All right, well, go focus on them. That's the first thing. But second of all, you seem to underestimate the power of propaganda. As you just heard in this video, this IGN journalist, if we can even say journalist, was using the same exact arguments that I heard throughout the BLM peaceful protests. The same arguments. Let's focus on this issue when it involves white man. But if it's blacks killing blacks, it's just another day in the neighborhood. The reality is the majority of people on this planet get their worldview from other people. So I don't want to hear that this isn't important, we should focus on other things. You're totally neglecting the power of influence, okay? But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button and share this video with a friend. Are you a video gamer? Do you like video games? Let me know. What types of video games do you like in the comment section so I can judge you harshly, okay? Anyways, my name is Gothix, and I will see you next time. Bye.